If you're watching this video, you're probably here for one of two reasons. Either you're completely new to PolyMarket and you want to understand how it actually works, or you've already placed a few trades and realized pretty quickly that this is not normal gambling. Because PolyMarket isn't DraftKings, it isn't sports betting, and it definitely isn't just guessing. It's a prediction market, which means you're trading probabilities. And once you understand that difference, everything starts to click. Before we get into the breakdown, I want to quickly show you why this matters and why you should actually listen to what I'm about to explain. I've been using this exact way of thinking to get results like these, and none of these came from luck or random bets. They came from understanding how probabilities move, how markets behave, and how to stay disciplined instead of emotional. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the same process. Now let's start from the beginning. PolyMarket is a prediction market where every question is a yes or no outcome. That's it. No spreads, no odds, no parlays, just yes or no. Each side of the market has a price between $0 and $1, and that price represents the market's belief about the probability of that event happening. So if yes is trading at 60 cents, that means the market believes there's roughly a 60% chance that it happens. If no is trading at 40 cents, that's the remaining 40%. This is the most important thing to understand. You are not betting on what you think will happen. You are trading whether the current probability is wrong. That mindset alone is the difference between people who consistently lose money and people who understand how to win on PolyMarket. Most beginners do this wrong. They read the question, they form an opinion, and they buy immediately. That's emotion, not strategy. Instead, the right question to ask is always the same. Is this price fair? Because even if something eventually happens, you can still lose money if you overpay for it. Now here's something most people don't realize at first. You do not have to hold a position until the event ends. A lot of money on PolyMarket is made by trading probability movement, not by waiting for the final outcome. If you buy a yes share at 40% and the market later moves to 60%, you can sell immediately and lock in profit. You don't need to wait weeks or months. You don't need to be right in the end. You just need to understand how probabilities move. This is where PolyMarket becomes very powerful. Now let's talk about what actually makes a good trade. There are three main things I look for before I even consider entering a market. The first is activity. If a market has no volume and nothing is moving, there's no opportunity. Dead markets don't pay. The second is confidence. When a market is priced very high or very low, it often looks safe, but that's usually where risk hides. High confidence means the market is assuming nothing will change, and in real life, something almost always changes. The third thing is reaction speed. How fast does the price move when someone buys or sells? If small orders move the price a lot, that tells you liquidity is thin and the market is fragile. That's important. Now here's where most beginners mess up. They think the best trades are the obvious ones, the markets where everyone agrees. But those are usually the worst trades, because when everyone agrees, you're paying a premium for certainty that doesn't exist. Instead, the best opportunities usually come from mispricing, hesitation, or overconfidence. This is why process matters so much. I don't just eyeball markets and guess. I use data to confirm what I'm seeing. That's where PolySight comes in. PolySight doesn't predict outcomes. It analyzes how probabilities behave. It looks at things like probability velocity, volume shifts, liquidity behavior, and how price reacts under pressure. What I'm trying to answer is simple. Is this price stable or is it fragile? If the price looks calm on the surface but starts behaving strangely under pressure, that's a signal. Not to go all in, just to pay attention. Now let's talk strategy. There are two main ways to trade on PolyMarket. The first is holding to resolution. This is the simplest approach. You buy yes or no, you wait for the event to end, and if you're right, you get paid $1 per share. This works best when probabilities are clearly mispriced and time is on your side. The second approach, and the one most consistent traders use, is trading the move. This means you're buying when a probability is low and selling when it rises, or buying no when yes is overpriced and exiting when the market corrects. You're not married to the outcome, you're married to the price. That distinction matters. Now here's the exact process I follow, especially for beginners. First, I scan for active markets. I don't force trades. Second, I look for overconfidence or clear mispricing. Third, I watch how the price reacts to buying and selling. Fourth, I use PolySight to confirm instability or momentum. Fifth, I size small and scale in instead of going all in. And sixth, I decide before entering whether this is a quick trade or a long hold. No emotions, no improvising mid-trade. Risk management is everything on PolyMarket. You should never bet money you need, and you should never go all in on one idea. PolyMarket rewards repetition and patience, not desperation. Most people lose because they treat one trade like it has to change their life. It doesn't. Small edges applied consistently are what actually add up. Another important rule is this: never marry a position. You are allowed to be wrong. If the market proves you wrong, exit. There's no badge for holding losses. The goal is not to be right. The goal is to be profitable. Here's the biggest mindset shift you need to make. You are not smarter than the market, but the market is often emotional, slow, or overconfident. Your job is not to outthink everyone. Your job is to recognize when price doesn't match reality yet. That's it. Once you understand how probabilities move, PolyMarket stops feeling random and starts feeling logical. If you're brand new, start small. Focus on learning how prices behave. Trade movement, not ego. And if you want more videos like this, live trade breakdowns, market walkthroughs, and real examples of how this works in practice, make sure you're subscribed. This market is only getting bigger, and understanding it early matters. I'll see you in the next one.